get better guys, you actually find yourself going back to techniques that you used to do when you just kind of forgot about, because it helps keep people down. And it's also another way for you to keep people down, right? You can keep somebody down by just being strong in your position, getting the technique right, where you're throwing your shoulder into the neck and side control or the mount and stuff like that, controlling the arms. But the other way to keep people down is by your speed, right? So I can just be really heavy on them, but if they stay over there in a good position, now I can be able to move around, right? So neon belly, side control, north, south, back to neon belly. Okay, so we'll do a couple just basic things to start off, and we'll start working on what people do to try to defend, and then we'll try to even work a couple arm bars and stuff in there, okay? So when I'm getting a neon belly, first we'll talk about like the more important things. The higher I go, the harder it's gonna be for him, but I might have a little bit less control, okay? What I wanna do is, when they call it neon belly, but it's actually my shin across his belly, okay? So when I'm coming across his belly, I want my shin bone all the way across his hips, right? We control his hips and his neck. That's where we get control of the guy, right? So when I get my shin across his belly, I'm not just kind of staying in this position. I'm actually hooking my foot on this end really hard against his hip, okay? And if I just do a regular type of neon belly and he starts to like upa, I can get off balance really quickly, okay? But if I keep my shin across those hips and I'm hooking my foot on the inside in this position, when he starts to upa, I'm still in control, okay? Now, it's gonna depend on your body type, on where you put your foot, okay? But there's two places I don't wanna put your foot. I don't want your feet close, because he can grab it, now he can start sweeping, going for leg locks, and I'm kind of off balance. And I don't want your leg too far where it's straight. Okay, I did this a lot, where I was putting a lot of pressure on this, and when I do this, it takes pressure off of him. Okay, so somewhere between, and it's gonna depend on your body type, okay? This is kind of like where I like to be, right here, because I can lean forward into him, and even if he starts ooping and doing stuff like that, I can start controlling his shoulders, put my hands on the mat if I need to, but I'm in an okay position, okay? So, shin across his hips, hooking my foot on the inside of his hip, right? Not locked out and not too close, okay? Now, I like keeping control of the person and staying here. If I want to drive down into him, I need to get tall. And when I get tall, I'm putting a lot more pressure on him, okay? So think about what you're trying to work for and what you want them to do. If I'm putting more pressure into him and I sit up tall, I'm giving him some escapes, but I'm also putting more pressure down on top of him, okay? And that's where if I'm here, it's not gonna work, or if I'm here, it's not gonna work. I need to get a good position here, okay? On top of this position, right here, we need to be able to move, okay? And in that movement, I'm gonna do a couple things. We'll do it slow, just so you guys can start getting it, okay? So that neon belly across his hips, hooking, right? And I'm in a good position here, okay? And just for this drill, I'm gonna put my hands to the mat, and I'm gonna bring my knee up to where my foot is. Now from here, I'm gonna windshield wiper to the other side, and then get back to that position, okay? And now I'm in that same position, okay? Hands to the mat, and I'm coming here, okay? Now, if I'm in a position, if I'm in a position where I have a pretty good side control, and he's maybe bracing, and he's starting to bring this leg in, trying to get inside, right? This is where I usually try to brace on the hip, bring my knee inside, back out, and then I'm here, right? And then he's gonna usually turn into me. I don't want that, boom, and now I'm coming to this side. And now I can start working towards his back. I can keep that knee on belly. There's a lot of different things I can do. But the first one, like I said, make sure we have good balance. Hands to that mat. And then quickly, just bring your legs over from one side to the other. Like this. And it doesn't matter which side you're at. All right? The second thing we're going to do to create that movement, if they turn into us really strong, I'm going to step over his head and get the same position. It looks really flashy. I learned this early on. I was like, that'll never work. And I did it, and I was like, whoa, this is pretty badass. It works, okay? So the first one, like I said, shin across. I'm here, he turns into me, boom, and I'm just switching into that position where I can go somewhere else, okay? Now if he turns into me and my leg almost hits the ground, from here, if he keeps sitting up, he has heel hooks, he has sweeps, there's a lot of bad stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring my leg over his head, drop my knee on that hip, just like I did on the other side, and now I'm kicking over in that exact same position, okay? So during the drill, I'm gonna want you to do the windshield wiper, and then we'll switch to the other one, right? So, hands to the mat, switch, right? Hands to the mat, switch. And right now, just get the movement down. I don't care how tight you are. I want you to actually work it to see what it feels like. And the different body types that we have here, okay? Now, he's gonna do a big hoopa where he's gonna turn into me a lot. This is where I switch here, drop my knee down, and then kick over, and I'm getting to that position. Okay. Be careful when we're doing the Neon Valley. Guys, when they're trying to get mean, they'll put the knee on the sternum. We're not trying to be mean here. We're not out on the street, right? And then also, I don't want knee on the chest. Okay. I don't want anybody getting hurt here, right? We're out in the street, it's totally different, but out here, just keep it below the sternum, right? If you need to move for one reason or the other, and it goes there for a little bit, that's one thing. But I'm not putting my knee in his sternum, grabbing his neck, and pulling him into me to try to hurt him, okay? We're not trying to compress the chest. This is a movement drill, okay? So windshield wiper, and then the other one, we're gonna step all the way around, all right? And if we're gonna do it together, right? I'm here, turn into me. Keep in that position, okay? When I get into these positions, your legs are going to be kind of going in different areas. Hands on the shoulders, hands on the chest, or hands on the mat is usually all you have to do to keep your balance. Okay? All right, let's work that and we'll go to some more stuff.